So starting this floor, we got to level everything that's in there right now, and then we're going to start adding some different materials and getting them level. Here we go. Looks like one of the boys buried a bone. He's inside. So what we're putting in here first is stuff that we sifted out of the soil that we did use for the cob repair. So that's what's going in first. Fill in, yeah. So yeah, we'll fill. This is where we move it around a little bit more to make sure that even though this is level, we got to get it filled into the gap under there. So I guess we can bring some shovels full. I think we just need a squiggle. Just squiggle? Well, okay. Maybe that'll slow it down. I don't know. Yeah, probably will. Okay, so we've got our rock kind of coarsely laid out there in the bathroom area. It's about 3 inches of rock, and everything that we've seen says 3 to 6 inches, and then you tamp it down. So we're going to go ahead and use our our gas tamper for most parts. Of course, down by these drains, we won't be able to use it, so we'll just use the hand tamper that you see right there. This thing makes short work of the tamping. It also helps us to find some of the low spots. You can feel it dip in a low area, so we'll know to put more rock in that area. The next part is to put down a vapor barrier, moisture barrier, water barrier, whatever you want to call it. So we're using 6 mil plastic, and it's going to have to be in 2 pieces because it's only 10 feet wide. Our room is 16 feet 3 inches wide by 11 10, so it just won't work with just one sheet. So we're going to cut 2 sheets. There will be a little bit of an overlap in the middle of the bathroom, and that's okay. So that's what we're doing next. We initially started with just 10 bags of the pebble pea gravel. They're half cubic foot. Yes, half cubic foot per bag. We went and got 30 more, so we have a total of 40 half cubic foot bags of pea gravel to do about 200 square feet. That's going to give us an inch depth or so on our pea gravel, and then after that we do the mud. All right, we're working on the floor in the bathroom. I'll talk to you about the mix that I'm using. I've done a lot of reading up on earthen floors, looking at a lot of other YouTube videos on how they do their recipes, and I call it a recipe because I think it's a little more fitting, because you can make changes to it that you need to for your area, for your resources, for what you have available. So it's a little bit flexible. I'm not crazy about calling it a formula. Formula to me sounds too rigid. So anyway, what I've read has been people using anywhere from a 2-to-1 sand to clay soil mix all the way up to a 4-to-1 sand to clay soil mix. We've decided on a 3-to-1, somewhere in the middle, and so far it's actually been working quite well. We've worked a couple of days. It's been painfully hot here. It's going to get even hotter this weekend. And we've had no cracks. You can see that cold line a little bit, but that's no big deal, because we are going to put tile over this floor when we're done as our finish, instead of doing a finish coat on this bathroom floor. So I'm using 3 parts of our construction sand, which is a coarse sand, to 1 part of our clay rich soil. Our soil also has a lot of sand in it, so that kind of helps. A couple handfuls, or about 1 part of our straw, mixed chopped and long straw, and then water sufficient to make it flow appropriately. And I'll show you that mix when I'm done and what I mean. It almost looks like a nice concrete without the big chunky rocks in it, but a nice sandy concrete when we're done, and it flows out very nicely. Dawn is putting it on the floor, leveling it out. You'll see that, and he's doing a great job. He says the mix is great, easy to work with. So I will show you how I mix it. So your measuring is units that are up to you. We are using these red plastic coffee, I'll hide the name, coffee cans for our unit of measure. But your unit of measure can be something like this. If you're strong enough, it can be 5-gallon buckets. It can be shovels full, whatever you feel comfortable using as your measure. I like to use something like this because it's consistent. I've seen a lot of people do just shovels full and they have good luck, but for me that's not something that I feel can be consistent, but that's just me. So we're using these. I fill it all the way to the top with the sand, with the soil. Like I said, a couple of good handfuls of straw will fill this up, so that's what I'm using for the straw. And then again, as much water as we need to make a fluid batch. So that's 9 buckets of sand, and I've pre-measured my soil into this white 5-gallon bucket for 3 of those buckets of the soil. Good handfuls of straw. I'm going to let that mix for a minute, and then I'm going to add some water. So you can see the straw in there with the sand and the soil. There was a little bit of water left in there from last night when I rinsed out the barrel I leave that water in there. No sense in wasting it. And now I'm going to go ahead and add the water. It'll take quite a bit because our soil is still so dry. So you can see that it's holding its shape pretty nicely. When I shape it into a nice little ball, it's not falling apart when I transfer it. From hand to hand. So it's going to be easy to work with for Dawn. I'll add a little bit more water, not much. What I'm looking for, I'm sorry, my face is working. What I'm looking for in here is for it to pull away from the sides as it's turning. So it's not sticking to the sides. That way I know I've got a good mixture in again. If I can shape it, and then if I can kind of give it a rub and get that nice shiny gloss to it, you know, it's pretty much ready to go. So late yesterday we started on the floor, putting this last layer of subfloor down, and it went very well. We just ran out of time. We had storms blowing through. They didn't give us any rain, they just gave us a lot of wind and disruption. You can see there's crickets on there. But anyway, it's doing very well. I went ahead and re-wet it this morning. So far I've checked everything that goes all the way back there. It's only a few feet wide right now and no cracks, so I think we're doing well. There it is. The bathroom subfloor is finished finally. Took us about 4 days, and probably, if you want to know quantities, it's about a 200 square foot room, and it took, I want to say, 18 5-gallon buckets of our sifted clay soil and 3 times that of the sand, the heavy construction sand. Water, a little bit of straw. The straw you see on top is just actually stuff that kind of blew in the wind in here, and it'll eventually come back off. And we, like I said, are going to be putting a floor tile on this floor, so this is not the finished floor. All right, so it's done. The bathroom floor is done, the subfloor, and that's going to be it for this video. Dawn's sneaking up behind me. Hey, Dawn. So thanks for watching. Remember to like this video, share it, and subscribe. And we'll see you next time. Bye.